just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Packer Up Boys. And that's right, the jerseys, we're all wearing them. The biggest drop we've ever done. The most demand we've ever had. It is the Bloke jerseys. It is the 22nd of April at 6 p.m. Set your alarms, guys. The hype around this has been crazy. The amount of messages I'm getting, we've never had it before. So you want to be there. You do not want to miss out on one of these Bloke jerseys. You want to be rolling into Magic Round with one of these Bloke jerseys. One of our best designs. I think if you take out the nostalgia of the OG, the nostalgia factor that it's brown, it's our brand colours, and you just look at purely design and colour, it might be our best ever jersey. It's at the very least our second best ever jersey for sure.
I love the colour.
Yeah, the colours are hectic. That is April 22nd, not this Tuesday coming, the Tuesday after, 6 p.m. Set your alarm, guys. It is $99 for Bloke Club members, $110 for non-Bloke Club members. So join the Bloke Club. And also, do not forget, hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, leave us a comment. We've been answering all the comments. We have a really, really engaged audience now on YouTube and Spotify. I'm going to get to the Spotify comments as well. So make sure to leave us a Spotify comment and also on like and subscribe on YouTube. As I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. But the great door, Sandor, how you going, brother?
Good, brother. Speaking of nostalgia, just being back in a jersey gets me rolled up a little bit.
Is it the colour
here, mate? No, it is the colour, but it's just being back in the footy jersey.
Yeah, okay.
But it is crack. I look forward to seeing the sea of blue at Magic Round.
Mate, cannot wait. How you been, bros? How's the week been?
Good. I was in Melbourne last weekend, so it was nice to get back down there.
Yep.
A few too many tequilas, let the hair down.
Okay.
Sunday was spent on the couch, but it was a good day. Lots of sports on, so got around the UFC, got around the footy, but back into it this week.
Now the Egyptian pyramids, look, there's been a bit of debunking going on right now. Does it hurt you at all that the debunking's happened, or are you still all the way in?
Well, as a strong conspiracy theorist, I would say that most of the debunking comes from,
mainstream.
Exactly right. Professors and scientists, whatever that means these days. So I seek my truth from Instagram.
There you go, mate. What's going on with you?
I'm good. I'm in a punters club.
Yep.
And we're in week 50 at the moment. So year goes for 52 weeks. So we got 2 weeks until like the year kind of wraps up, and like it's a big deal. Like whoever wins gets their name engraved on a shield. Whoever comes last gets their name engraved on a worst shield. And this next 2 weeks is kind of been all about everyone Hail Marying to try and catch the winner. So it's just it's absolute carnage, mayhem at the moment.
And are you down the bottom?
No, I'm kind of mid-range, but I've got to make up about $300 in 2 weeks, so it's very, very, very achievable. But you're only playing with $10. But yeah, that's us at the moment. Our bet slips are just going crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, put the Dolphins in a multi last night.
Oh, you get on?
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's on the feed too, sports bet. So
okay, there we go. That was a beautiful shout out to give us a follow on the feed, guys. They've got a huge competition going at the moment as well. So give us a follow on the feed, guys. Sports bet feed. My follow account's been going through the roof lately. So massive thank you for that, guys. So yeah, get around us on
the feed.
Little
ad popped up on when I was on there too with your little face on it.
Oh,
too.
did it?
Yeah.
On what?
I went on to Sportsbet and it popped up, and then you had your little head and two other people.
Gorange as well?
Yeah, Gorange.
See, they can't do it. They can't just give me a fair crack. They got to add Gorange. Like every second post on their social media is Gorange. Every ad is Gorange, and then even the ads I'm in, I got Gorange with me as well.
I feel like I know Gorange more than you. Yeah, I've never met Gorange,
mate. And he just pops up everywhere. So Sportsbet, it's very clear who their favourite is. It's all right. It's okay.
Are you in a tipping comp, Kempy?
Not really. Like we've obviously got the Face of Music on the Monday.
I'm at the bottom of my tipping comp.
Mate.
I feel like if you're too technical this year, you're actually it's a bad thing.
It's been a nightmare.
The girls in there are probably picking their favourite animal. I don't know, but they're killing it.
It's honestly, it has been a nightmare this year for picking. Speaking of nightmares, I mean, the Penny Panthers. Mate, look, we were joking yesterday on the DMP, and I said, are they tucking the hog? Are they tucking the hog? And you probably don't know what that means. But
no,
I mean, like,
I was waiting for the.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, well, tucking the hog obviously means tucking the hog.
Gotcha.
And so we were joking about DCE how in negotiations, Manly, they thought he was rolling around with just a little nub, but he was actually tucking the hog. And so we thought Penrith rolling into last week were tucking the hog and they weren't playing that well. Maybe they still got their hog tucked because they're not playing well at all. Oh. What's going on?
Bro, it was shocking, really.
I put that meme up on my story of like the lady with all the like algebra around her and she's like all confused of people trying to work out what's wrong. it's not the fact that they're losing. It's the way that they're playing is like so uncharacteristic. I'd love to get your just immediate thoughts on the loss, boys. Immediate thoughts.
On that note, I think I was watching it and it almost felt like there was a shock amongst the group. As you said, there's the statistics of errors and defensive points, but watching them trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat multiple times during the game, like that's just not Penrith. And I thought, I was watching it on KO and Vossi and Cooper Cronk nailed it. Normally Penrith put teams away, death by 1,000 cuts, and they were just trying anything and everything. So I feel like they're in this phase. I know they didn't have Edwards and Cleary and the likes of that, and now they do. I imagine there's not only going to be a rocket, but there's going to be some pretty hard chats going on internally. But for me, I just think the team hasn't been in this position before. They don't know what they're doing, but I'm still sitting here shocked as a viewer going, how are they not just going back to the foundations in the Penrith style of footy? But, mate, it's like night and day compared to – and you can't – like I was thinking about this as well. I always use the Storm as a benchmark and a reference point and the consistency year after year, but they still haven't won 4 comps.
Yeah.
Like what Penrith have done
it's crazy.
is generational.
Yep.
But where to from here?
Mate, it's insane. And I think that the thing that shocked me the most about the other night is like you can look at these other losses and you go, okay, they had less possession or their completion rate was really low or, they had less tackle breaks or less offloads. Here's the stats from last night. Penrith Panthers had 54% of the ball. They had the ball essentially 5 minutes longer than the Dolphins. They had a better completion rate. They had more runs. They ran for nearly 400 metres more. They had more post-contact meters. They had a longer average set distance. They had a faster average play the ball. They had more offloads. They had more receipts, more total passes, more dummy passes, more kicks, more forced dropouts, more grubbers. Their tackle efficiency was the same. They had
more time in red zone.
That's what I mean. They had 50 tackles in the Dolphins' red zone.
That was the big one.
You would think, okay, if they do lose, it was a really close loss. They got beaten 30-12. Like, it is those stats should be flipped. And that's the story of the game. And that's what surprises me so much about the loss with Penrith is like, I'm scared. I could easily lie here and just not say what I'm feeling because it's the safe thing to do because you don't get smashed by the Penrith fans. And I bring no joy in saying this, but I don't think that they've got what it takes to win this year. They might scrape in the 8. They might fight and go on a run, but they've still got Origin to get through. And when I say I'm happy, I'll be stoked if I come back in here in 4 weeks and go, they've won 4 on the trot. I was wrong, but I just look at them and I just think that finally you're starting to see the human side, the human cost of greatness, where they look fatigued. Other teams have absolutely raided them. Think about how bittersweet it was for the Panthers last night. Not even bittersweet, just bitter. They had to watch Isaiah Katoa, their junior, you could argue, put the last nail in the coffin of their season. Now, I know it's super early, but maybe this was the game that was the final nail in the coffin for the Penrith Panthers to be able to make the top 4. Because right now, if they are to go to make up the top 4, they would essentially need to win 20 games, or 15 games or something like that, which is a lot on the trot. If they had to make the top 8, they've got to win 12 total games, if you compare it to last year. And so they're sitting there being decimated by people raiding all of their juniors and had to watch Isaiah Katoa, who, if you actually look at the timing of moving Luai on, this is when Katoa would have come in and partnered Cleary. And they had to watch another club that was able to offer Katoa way more, put him to the sword, and that's just got to be bitter for the Penrith Panthers. And so I look at them and I go, it's already been, they've done, I personally think they're the greatest ever team assembled. 4 in a row. I know people try to look to, 50, 60 years ago and all that kind of stuff. But, mate, 4 in a row in the salary cap era, come on, bro. Come on. And I just think we're finally starting to see them. They're tired. They're banged up. And the juniors that are coming in, they're just not ready yet. And so, right now, they might make a charge for the 8 at some stage, but I I think it'd almost be a miracle if they manage to upskill these junior guys that have come in the next 6 rounds. Because essentially, for them to make the top 4, they've got to upskill these juniors in about a month's time to be able to go on a massive run to make the top 4.
Well, I've just done the maths, and based off last year, there's 18 games left. This isn't including buys. They need to win 15 of it from 18.
It's just
to make the top 4?
To make the top 4.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
And so that's what I mean. They've got to get through Origin.
Yeah.
And so, yes, is there one team that could scrape in the 8 and go on a run? Yeah, 100%. Like, what's harder, winning 4 in a row or winning from 7th? I think it's 4 in a row that's way harder. But I just look at them, and I say this not happily. I say it in the sense of I commiserate with Penrith that they've just been decimated by the salary cap and by people raiding their juniors. And you have to, I know it's going to probably piss people off me saying this, but I actually feel sorry for the Penrith Panthers because they spent all this money and sacrificed, all this time and energy and effort 5 to 6 to 7 years ago and built this junior base that they've got. And like there are clubs that didn't do that have just come in and reaping the benefits of what Penrith have done. And so I know people go, oh, screw you, Kempy, they've won 4 premierships, don't feel sorry for them. But they won 4 premierships through their hard work and dedication. And so I just think it sucks that, I do feel like, yes, this is the salary cap working for sure, but it would be, if you're a club that spend all this money on your juniors and you look across to other clubs that don't spend any money on the juniors, that don't even bother trying, you just be like, that sucks. Like, why do our juniors all get raided because of success? There should be some kind of protections there.
I agree, Kempy, but I think like anything in life, especially if you want to call this a business, there's always an opportunity cost.
Yeah.
And for all that they have done, it's not as if they didn't reap the rewards.
Yeah.
They did something that I don't know if we'll see it again. We might, but I don't think we will.
Yeah.
So what they did, and it's hard because it's so polarizing seeing them play like that.
Yeah.
And it was 6 months ago and we're celebrating the 4-peat. I also think my theory is back to the whole rebuild and foundations, and again, that Storm reference, and I always use it because we go through the phase of Cronk, Slater, Smith, and then all of a sudden you've got this new spine. But I think that was just a distraction. They're fully invested in 3 in a row, 4 in a row. And I don't think the focus was investing in the next generation or the next player. And all of a sudden you combine that with being decimated, and now you're here at this point. But the most concerning thing is not what we already discussed a couple of weeks ago in analysis of like the players they've lost, but just how they're actually playing right now. It is not Penrith-like.
Nah, not at all. Like there was even one time, like you got key players. I saw one where like even Cleary looks tired. Like he doesn't look as energetic as we know he can be. And
the thing that got me yesterday was Dylan Edwards looked frustrated. And he was trying his ass off.
Yeah,
but he looked nowhere near the peak Dylan Edwards that we know from a couple of years ago. And I just think that we're starting to see they're humans. Like they're humans that all the greatness is catching up to. Eventually, you have to pay a price for greatness.
Yeah,
and I think that price is just being paid right now.
And isn't it funny what desperation can do to your footy? Yeah. Like there was a level of desperation.
Dylan Edwards was kicking every time he got the ball. I was like, what's doing? Like Dylan Edwards, you're one of the best ball runners in the game, but he was just.
I don't think we'll see Cleary play like that again for the rest of the year. I think that's got to be some sort of like
one-off.
Yeah,
because he was great last week. He was great, Nathan Cleary last week. And so, I look at him now. As I said, I would love to in 10 weeks' time come up and say, you know what, I got it wrong. But they might be able to scrape into the 8, but I just don't know whether they've got the energy to go on another run this year.
Top 4 is not a discussion, but geez, it'd be weird not to see them at least in the 8. Fuck.
I think they'll make the 8. I think they can play good enough footy for the rest of the season to scrape into the 8. But I just don't know if they've got the energy to be able to go another push into the finals.
You know the other thing, Brian, I mean, if it continues down this path, that shine will be taken off a little bit. But this is still the Penrith Panthers who've just won 4 in a row. The Dolphins and every other team in the coming weeks, they're playing their grand final. It's still the Penrith Panthers.
Of course, they got to cop that every time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're coming up against the best.
That's what makes their last 4 years so great. Like Penrith Panthers,
stupid.
That not only have they been winning grand finals, they barely lose games throughout the season. And every time they play a team, it's a grand final for the other team. How often have we seen a team beat the Penrith Panthers during the season and they're up and they're just like yipping and yahooing like they've just won a GF? Like that's the standard Penrith. And I just think finally it's just starting to catch up to them. And that's not a knock on them. That is me going, I cannot believe it lasted as long as it did. Now, I want to be very, very clear, though. I don't think that this will last into next year at all. Like, I think by next year, they will be red hot, ready to go again. And I'm not saying I'm definitely putting a line through them just yet, but I am saying if you had a gun to head then and tell me do you think they can win the comp this year? I just think it's inhuman. They just humanly can't. They've just been through so much footy, been so banged up. Like, look at their schedules, and they've had so many clubs raid their juniors. I think that it got brought really into focus for me last night, watching Isaiah Katoa kill it against the club that developed him as a junior, and they had to sit there and watch their junior who would have taken Luai's spot.
If it wasn't for Wayne Bennett, that would have been the perfect succession plan. But Wayne stepped in and got ahead of him.
Got ahead of him because he could see great number 7. But also, this is how pinpoint their timing is. Think about how good their planning is as a club, the Penrith Panthers, that if Isaiah Katoa, because you could make an argument, Isaiah Katoa probably debuted a year or two early because he was at a club that was starting, and not a year or two early because he didn't have some good games, but more just age-wise. If he was at a good, strong club, they would give him time to develop in New South Wales and Queensland Cup. But this is our pinpoint accuracy the Penrith Panthers' plan was with him. He probably would have been making his debut probably last year for them, maybe even the year before, 1 or 2 games. Then last year, maybe 5 or 6 games when Cleary got injured. And then this year, he would have gone in full time. Think about how good timing that is. Because right now, Isaiah Katoa is primed and ready to be playing NRL. And so the Penrith Panthers have timed that to perfection, where they've got Luai all the way to where they could get Luai and eventually goes to another club. And it would have been Isaiah Katoa coming in, but obviously he got poached quite young. So, yeah, I know it sounds silly saying I feel sorry for the Panthers, but I genuinely do. I genuinely do. Obviously, I don't want them to win again, being a Broncos fan. But I just think they've been decimated by other clubs. They're starting to catch up to them a little bit. I will say, though, they've got a great opportunity, this book that they've written, this book of greatness, to add a chapter that we never saw coming. Like the chapter when everyone said they were done, when everyone said it's over.
Setback, comeback.
Yeah, because the thing with the Penrith Panthers is most seasons in this reign, by the time we get halfway through the year, everyone's like, yeah, Penrith Panthers are the favourite to win this competition. This will be the first time where everyone said, nah, they're done. And so they could write one of the greatest last chapters, maybe not last, but potentially last chapters in a dynasty. And when I say dynasty, I think they'll be back to the top next year, but at least just this 4 in a row run. But they can, if they were to somehow manage to scrape into the 8 and go to at least a grand final, I think it'll be one of the greatest feats all time.
Where do the Panthers sit based on your knowledge and insight with their financial position for recruitment and juniors coming? Yeah, cool.
Heaps of cash.
Gotcha.
But juniors, though, that's the thing that a lot of people don't realise. It isn't just their first grade squad that's getting rated. All their juniors are getting rated. Like scouts and that are just going straight down to the 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old games.
And again,
in the Penrith comp,
when Penrith are in a vulnerable position, if you want to see it like that, with a full focus on the squad that they have that can fulfill the potential of winning multiple seasons. So in another club where you don't have that luxury and you genuinely know you go into the season like, we could win 3, we could win 4. I don't know how strong or focused your recruitment is on ground roots. And as you said, people are coming in and just ripping it underneath them.
Yep.
Good example is Riley Smith. No one seems to know that he was a Penrith junior.
Riley Smith was a Penrith junior, like Isaiah Katoa, Penrith junior. Like even a guy like Wade Egan, he was at the Penrith Panthers coming through, and so, yeah, it sucks. I always want to. It's good to ride the greatness train while it's here because we'll never see it again. In regards to specifics, I was looking really closely at the game. Like, what are they missing here? Like, obviously, Luai is just man, his stocks in the last 2 years have just gone. I mean, there was really a time for multiple years where people were saying, "You're nothing without Nathan Cleary. You're nothing."
Can I be honest? There was a time where I thought that.
Yeah.
There's a time where I seriously thought you owe half your contract to Cleary.
Yeah.
And I didn't obviously say it that meanly or say it out loud, and this is going back a few years now, but I genuinely thought he was just a number 2 to Cleary, but that was the most wrong take. That was the most wrong thought that's ever come into my head.
Even pre-Origin last year, bro, we were sitting there and it wasn't clear whether he was going to get in. It was like, and then he come out and did what he did and just continued on for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and so not to suggest that Nathan Cleary isn't still one of the greatest 7s all time, but more just to pull into focus that Jerome Luai was a very important part of that puzzle with the Panthers. And if anyone ever thought that he wasn't, here is proof, because they're desperate for him back in the side. Another bloke that I think, and I was watching really closely, so Isaiah Yeo and Lindsay Smith, they're both outstanding players, like really, really good. But they don't have actually fast leg speed. They miss Fisher Harris's leg speed through the middle. And I think that Leota tries to get that momentum going. But it always used to be a 1-2 punch of real fast leg speed of Leota, Fish, or Fish, Leota. And I was watching last night, and Yohan and Smith, they don't run like that. They're built differently. It's slower leg speed. It's still good contact. It's still good for offloads and good in defence. But it's a different style of play. Whereas Fisher and Leota, they're not running overs lines or stepping anyone. They're going unders hard, and as soon as they hit contact, they're getting on their front and getting a quick play of the ball. And I just reckon that momentum that those two generate together, they don't have it anymore. That leg speed throughout the middle. Now Liam Henry has it a little bit, and I think that they might look at potentially, do you start Liam Henry to get that momentum going? Because I don't think they look anywhere near as fast in the ruck as they did in the years past. Whereas there was periods over the last 4 years where you would watch them, when they would get on a roll, you would just go, who stops that? Whereas I haven't watched the Penrith Panthers this year in attack, except for sometimes against the Sharkies in round one, and gone, wow, the pace they play at is unbeatable. Like, they're actually playing, it seems like at a kind of like a slower-ish pace. And that's what I feel like they're just missing desperately. And to be fair, in their defence, like, they're missing, obviously, Toto.
Yeah, it's a big loss.
That's a huge loss.
Yeah.
Like, he started their sets for the last 5 years.
And
best in the game.
Edwards isn't at his best at the moment. But if you were to put together a perfect set for the Panthers, it would go Edwards first run, Toto second run, probably Leota third run, and Fish potentially fourth run, and then have a shot.
Yeah, or Cleary puts it, 5 metres out from your try line, and good luck getting back.
And you're missing two of those runners at the moment. And so I just think that they're just that leg speed that Fish had through the middle. And because like Lindsay Smith, he can play like long minutes. Like he can play, they're just different styles of player. And so I just wonder whether it's worth contemplating starting Liam Henry and going, mate, I just need you to be up and down, no overs lines, no offloads, no footwork, in behind the ruck, find your front. Because as I said, like Lindsay Smith, he played 60 minutes and still was great. 132 metres, 51 post contact, a tackle break, 3 offloads, 45 tackles, only 1 miss. So he was still great, but it's a different style of front rower to a Fisher Harris. And I think watching really closely, I saw that. And just some of the youngers, I got to say, is like the reason why, if you had to ask me gun to head, can they win a comp this year? It has nothing to do with personnel or anything like that. It has obviously to do with juniors and blah blah blah, and also fatigue. But also their edge defense is not up to NRL standard right now.
No way.
Last night was particularly concerning.
Like when your edge defense is worse than the Dolphins looked great last night. And we'll get to the Dolphins because their defense was the best I've ever seen it. But their edge defense is like, it's in shambles at the moment. And, I don't know what they do because, like, who do they bring? If they drop Tungor, who do they bring in?
Yeah, that's the problem. And I'm a big fan of Tungor, but, he's just not where he needs to be right now.
They're just so disconnected.
Yeah.
And I look at it, and it's been a problem for a while, but I just wonder whether, do you just say to them to simplify it, listen, boys, before the play the ball happens, we either call red or green. Red means we're jamming, green means we're sliding. And you just keep it that simple. You know what I mean? Like, is that how you make it easier? Because I do know Ivan Cleary, and he does like to let players read as it hits them.
Yeah.
But I wonder, do you just simplify it and say, boys, whatever I call, if I call red, we pick our man, we go in. If I call green, we're up and slide.
Yeah.
And you just simplify
because traditionally they're not even a team that slides, midfield. They're a team that, as you said, is decision-making and upping in. But, mate, some of that last night, I think you said it best. It's just a disconnection. It's disjointed.
Yeah. It's so. And then on the other side, you've got, I actually thought Talangi made the right reads, but his centers just didn't follow him in. And so there's disconnected there. And I know it's different combinations, guys. I get it. Like, it's going to take time. But unfortunately, like, they don't have time now because they've lost their first four out of 5 games. What was it, 5 out of 6?
They've lost 5 in a row, yeah.
5 out of 6, so they don't have time they need it fixed immediately.
Can you put, and I don't know if this is right, could you put Luke Garner there for a few weeks?
I honestly, you probably just go, let's pick the best defensive side we possibly can. I think, he actually said it in the post-match press conference, which I didn't know was the smartest thing to say. But Ivan did say, you kind of saw why we hadn't picked Blaze yet. Because he's not ready. He's not ready.
No,
he's not.
I think he's actually a couple of years away from being an NRL 6.
Yeah.
I actually think they either need to bite the bullet and say, mate, we're going to put you at 6 in New South Wales Cup. You're not going to move from there, no matter how bad or good you go, for at least 12 months, potentially 24 months. Or they go, let's put you in outside back, and you probably would be ready for first grade within this season. If you put Blaze Talangi at centre in New South Wales Cup and let him play out the season, I reckon he'd be ready for first grade defensively, and just everything wise within 6 to 8 weeks. I reckon.
Yeah, because I'm doubtful how much of an investment would have even been made in pre-season with him at 6.
Well, apparently he was bought for that.
Really?
It just hasn't really clicked. Yeah, it just hasn't clicked.
He had a slow start to the preseason. He had a shoulder injury.
Yeah, which is
otherwise.
Yeah. And so I just reckon, it was pretty clear that Blaze isn't ready for a first grade 6 at the moment. At least in a team that's struggling. Maybe if he was coming into the Penrith Panthers that we know that's like dominant, then potentially. But what I will say for sure, like the talent is there. Like he is a talented young kid.
Oh, he's an Australian schoolboy star.
Yeah, he's a gun. He's a gun. But I think just need to be patient with him. But they've been forced into it. Like I was a bit surprised that they didn't go Schneider over him. If I'm Ivan Cleary, sorry, I'm probably bringing in Snyder at 6.
I think that's where he's at now, though.
Yeah.
I think over that last few weeks, when you had Cleary and Edwards out, I feel like Ivan was a little bit calmer, going through the process. Like, we're not playing our best as a young squad, but I feel inside those 4 walls this week, I think the attitude's going to change, bro. I think the hammer has to be dropped, and not that people are on notice, but at some point there needs to be a little bit of that.
The only problem is like, for example, who replaces Tungle? Because Casey McLean had his issues as well. So
But even if it is, we just need a reaction out of some of these blokes, and they've never had this, bro. They're just coming off being top of the food chain for 4 years.
The crazy thing is, though, is like, I don't think they have enough people in their top squad to replace multiple outside backs. Because if you drop Tungle, that means you've got to keep Casey McLean on the other side. Alamotti also defensively not the best. Like that's where my big concern with the Penrith is, like, right now, most of their outside backs outside of To'o defensively have question marks around.
What I'm saying is it's not a replacement. I just don't think hard conversations have been had.
Okay.
I think this is the final straw to be like, hey, the last 4 years, we got to fucking stop thinking or talking about it. Like, this is, now players are like, we're going to be judged on right now.
Yeah.
Whereas, I don't know, 3 weeks ago was a hard conversation being had if you're not playing your best coming off what they just did.
Especially, you've won 4 in a row. It's going to click, boys. It's going to click. Now, before we continue, guys, join up the Bloke Club. That is right. If you join the Bloke Club, you automatically Mazda BT50. Thanks to our massive friend of the show, it is Luke Camilleri, a Dragons fan. He's actually going to be joining us. Is it this week or the next week?
Next week.
Next week. The big fella is going to join us quickly. Say hi to everyone so you get to know him. He's one of the boys. He's a legend. He's a Dragons fan, so don't hold that against him. But give him a follow on Instagram too, LDC_01. Not only has he provided the Mazda for us via Aspley Mazda, he also does giveaways all the time. Trust me, if you're in the market for a car, no matter where you live, he will take care of you. So shoot him a message, tell him Bloke sent you. He'll be able to point you in the right direction or help you himself. And it's also a massive thanks to Aspley Mazda. And that's going to be drawn in 2.5 months or so. So it's not long away. Make sure you're in. On top of that, we gave away $2,000 cash last month. We're going to give away $2,000 cash again this month. So make sure to join the Bloke Club. 30% off Musashi product currently, 40% off DMP shirts, 20% off Grumpy Coffee for the Bloke Club members, 15% off Bloke merch, giving away a brand new Mazda. And also, if you're a smaller to medium-sized business and you've got a bit of a marketing budget, we've got little packages for 9 lucky businesses in the Bloke Club. Give Miles, MYLES, at blokeinabar.com an email, and we're going to choose 9 lucky people to be a part of the Bloke Club to have one of these packages. And it's basically set up so that, to become a segment sponsor or whatever, Bloke, we're such a big podcast now, small businesses, they can't really It's the budget's too big for him. However, this with a Bloke club that's a bit separate, we've got some really cool packages that are very affordable for small to medium-sized businesses. So Miles at Bloke and a Bar, give him an email.com, give him an email, and we're going to pick 9 lucky small businesses to help out with the Bloke club.
I will say, for everyone, this has actually happened way too many times. It's spelled M-Y-L-E-S, not M-I-L-E-S.
Yeah, I said that at the start.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was not listening. I apologize.
So yeah, shoot me an email. Okay, alrighty. Let's get into it, shall we? The Dolphins. What a game by the Dolphins. And all of a sudden, it's gone from a horror season to, like, if they play at this level, they could make the 8. You know, it's a long way away. There's a lot of bloody good teams at the moment. But, you know, all of a sudden, they've got, 2 or 3 wins?
2 now.
2 wins. So they're still a ways away. But both wins have been, like, good wins. Not just like a little bit. Good wins. Easily the best I've seen the Dolphins defend. Easily the best. And the Hammer, getting him engaged in the game early was a key. Because, and what I liked about it was, like, you know, they were picking the right moments coming out of their own end to create plays for the Hammer. And that's where I feel like they were really missing out in the early games, is that, like, you know, Hammer isn't the type of player that you want taking a million bad hit-ups through the middle and getting bashed up, taking scoots. So you need to create plays for him to bring him into the game, even if it's coming out of your own end. But do it in a smart way. Don't do it in risky balls out the back or whatever. They nailed it. Got him involved early, and he was unstoppable.
They're one of the only teams, and it's purely because of him, that can genuinely score from 70 metres out. Like, there's a line break or a try-scoring opportunity. But I think they were great. If there's a little bit of momentum and confidence gained, and then they can keep this up. But that defence on the try line, you could argue, if you just watched NRL for the first time, firstly, you'd never believe that Penrith were the team that won 4, but their defence was unbelievable.
Mate, Hammer. So we all know what Hammer can do in attack.
Yes.
We know that. We know he can score 3 tries. We know 75 metres he can do that. 7 tackles, 0 misses, multiple try-saving tackles. Like, that's the Hamiso that we know, like, superstar. And that's the part of the game where I go, okay, if he had to just come out and had his attacking stats, we go, yeah, we can expect that. But when I look at that defensive ability from him, I look at the fact that he was digging in defence, I say clearly Christian Wolf has had a chat with him, getting the best out of him.
I agree. I think that was intentional.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that, you know, a few weeks ago, people were quite critical of Hammer, and rightly so, because he wasn't involved as much. And Christian Wolf defended him. Like, and it came when he defended him in that game a few weeks ago. You could tell people, like, really? Like, I thought Hammer was quite quiet. However, Christian Wolf has known, I'm going to publicly defend this bloke as much as possible, because I think he realised Hammer needs that. He needs to be publicly defended. He needs to know that his coach is going to go into bat for him publicly, and that's the reward you get.
Yeah,
that's the reward you get.
I also thought, like, he obviously made some really good try-saving tackles, but he just him being there spooked Penrith a couple of times. Like, I know Jenkins put in a terrible kick a few times, but Jenkins put in that bad kick just because Hammer was there and he caught it on the full. Even when Edwards should have drawn and passed, just because Hammer was there, he put in a kick for some reason. Like, his influence on the game last night was everywhere.
It was everywhere. And
that extra effort, and his positioning, the improvements in that, he adds that to his game.
Mate, he'll be one of the best fullbacks in the game.
Easily.
Like, Hammer is one of the rare players that can go up a gear no matter what the gear is needed. Like, he's one of the rare players that you go, oh, he's really good at club. I wonder how he'll go in Origin. And so he'll be, you know, in the top 3 players in a club game. Then he'll go to Origin. He'll be in the top 3 players in an Origin game. But then he'll go for Australia. He'll be the top 3 players in an Australian game. Like, he just keeps going. I genuinely believe that he's still got more in him, Hammer.
100%.
Like, which is crazy to think with what he's done already. And so, yeah, it's so good to see him. And as I said, the special thing, it was the defence. It was the defence from Hammer that was like, okay, he's clearly reacting to Wolfie. Wolfie's getting the best out of him. So hopefully he can keep this up, because he was outstanding.
I also feel like I've never seen him sprint at full pelt. He just looks like
he
never looks like it.
Even if he has to, he just turns it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought Averillo had his best game,
agreed,
maybe ever for the Dolphins. Defensively was great, was so good to see.
He was on fire.
And so, like, when I see that from the Dolphins, what excites me for the Dolphins is, like, they're clearly working on it, and also you can see them getting better at it. How often do we watch, like, a team has a problem in one spot. Like we've even watched the Storm where their right side has been an issue for years and it just doesn't seem to get fixed. I think it's their right side. Whereas Dolphins, the exciting thing for them is like their defense, at least on the weekend, looked like it improved drastically and looked like they'd done a bunch of work. The amount of times you saw like even like the wingers would get up and like double defend. They'd defend the center, keep their body square so they can get out to their winger. Like that's an improvement that they weren't even getting close to doing last week. And I thought Averillo, like we can be quite critical of Averillo in defence, but I thought it was one of his best games in NRL.
Oh, by a long way. I still think in this day and age of the game, I think it's underrated how impactful centres can be, and a Farmworth and Averillo killing it, like it's dangerous.
Especially in attack. Like, mate, they are weapons. Averillo is quick. He is quick. Both of them, Averillo, 191 metres, 43 post contact, 6 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 2 offloads, 12 tackles, only 3 missed.
His first try, he made that look so easy, that put down.
Yeah.
He was so out of balance and he just slammed it down. I didn't think that got spoken about enough.
Yep, absolutely. And Herbie Farmworth, 16 tackles, no misses.
I'm loving Bostock.
Oh, he's a gun.
Oh,
except for that kick.
What about that kick?
Bro, when he kicked that, his stomach must have fell out of his anus. I honestly reckon we were lucky we didn't see poo dribbling down his leg. Oh my God, bro. Like, can you imagine that sinking feeling?
As a former soccer player and winger, that you would have been just disgraced.
Jump on the ball. Just dive on it. Mate.
It was going dead anyway.
I know. Mate, look, happens to the best of us, so poor fella, but wow, that was a Barry Crocker. Imagine that was a close game. Imagine if they came back and won it.
If there was any time to do it, it was then, because the game was done.
Mate, I don't think I've ever seen that, a bloke kick the ball back into the opposition.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, poor fella, Bostock.
What about the boys this week?
Oh, mate, he's going to get absolutely pebbled. As I said, I'm surprised his anus didn't explode, because he would have been shitting himself. Imagine walking back in the changing room, how much the boys would be spraying.
Oh, you're dreading the video review. You know it's coming up.
It's gotta
you know
be
those ones? You know where you just know? You're sitting there
Seriously.
praying like by some chance, somehow it doesn't make the clip.
Yeah, but it's making it, brother. It's making it. And just
It's the start of
you
the
just
actual
gotta
video
roll with
review.
it. Oh, mate, you just got to roll with it. Seriously, that was an absolute Barry the
But
poor fella.
winning changes everything.
It
Thankfully,
does, yeah,
it would have been
right.
a very different story.
So yeah, I thought their backs were great. Bostock, I can't wait to see him continue to improve himself. I thought Jerry Marshall-King was good. I thought Kerr off the bench, he had one drop ball, but outside of that,
Yeah, with that start, but then
he was
dominant.
great. So
Even in defence.
creates a lot of headaches for their if they do bring their recent recruit in. Oh my God, Molo. Because Kerr was outstanding, like that offload. Like I reckon that offload was such a good indication of like Penrith are not themselves, because very rarely do Penrith just like go through the motions, tackle, go low. Like they're usually hitting way more
Considering it was
aggressive
in the
like
tackle,
that.
I think it was Liam
It was Liam
Martin
Martin and Nathan Cleary.
Yeah.
And like they were very just going through the motions. Whereas like Penrith are usually way more aggressive than that with their contact.
Tell you what, I watched that offload, and this is us saying it as if I'm like a 6'7" prop, but it's a surprise that like tactically that's not more common.
Yeah.
Like getting into that position and strategically offloading through the line. And you got to give a shout out to the support. Who scored off that?
Afini Fuaki.
Like not many.
Sorry. It was
Lemuelu.
Not many people actually support the front rower in that position. It's a bit of a lay play, for the next one. So hats off to him for being there to even score that try.
Yeah, it is funny how you don't have bigger boys isolating edge back rowers and outside backs to offload.
Yeah.
I just remembered something as well. Full credit to the Dolphins for winning the game against the Premiers with 79 minutes and 43 seconds without having any challenges. What about that?
Bro.
What about that?
When they challenged that first one,
Was that it was the first or second tackle of the game?
first tackle.
It wasn't long after that they had a genuine challenge opportunity and they would have got it. I don't know what it was for.
It was a play the ball that was
Yeah.
completely fine. And I'm pretty sure it was Saifidi as well.
I just couldn't believe that they went with that captain's challenge. Mate, it's the first minute.
Can't. It's almost like, no, it's too early.
Yeah, even if it is so obvious, you just go, mate, we've got so much more important things we're going to have to save. Let's just try and defend our asses off here while we're not fatigued. That was mental. So, look, bloody good win for the Dolphins. I think you might see some tweaks with the forward pack of Penrith of I don't know, do you bring Liam Henry on to get that leg speed early and then you bring Smith on, or I'm not sure, because at the moment, but you know what's crazy is when you actually look at their forward stats, they're still doing their job. Like, you know, on the weekend, last night, they had all the field position. So, like, the jobs of field position is being done. They're just so clunky.
Yeah, I don't actually think the forwards are the highlight. I do agree with your point about the line speed and something needs to be looked at. I'm still gonna have hope that we're gonna see a reaction this week. Like a reaction that we haven't seen. I think this is finally the time.
Who would have thought before the year that Penrith versus Roosters, which is this week, is a bottom of the table clash?
Wild.
It's mental. But yeah, it's just through no fault of their own though. Like, you know, they could only 4 in a row. Like, it is just incredible what they've achieved.
Storm never did it back to back. Like, Roosters have done it once. Every team gets ripped apart salary cap. They've done it. They've managed that better than anyone.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Incredible.
You can't compare these long runs of success, always being in the semi-finals, winning a few comps like the Roosters and the Storm. You can't compare 4 in a row. There has to be some sort of
you got to pay the price.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
it just has to happen.
Yeah, it has to happen.
We don't have anything to compare it to.
So
we don't.
We really don't.
Uncharted territory.
Just amazing what they've managed to achieve. And look, I don't think people. As I said, like, maybe it's this year where they falter a little bit, but if they falter this year, they'll still be red hot, ready to go next year. Like, imagine all these guys with a whole year under their belt of experience, how good they're going to be next year. Like Casey McLean, imagine how good he's going to be next year. Like, all these young people, like Blaze Talangi, he's going to be much better next year.
It'd be interesting if they do get to that point, let's call it mid-season, and things are pretty clear that
they're not going to make it.
Yeah, and strategically, where do they sit? What do they do? Who do they start playing? What's the focus? It'd be interesting.
Mate, the tough thing is the origin period. I'm worried for them, to be honest. Yeah. Like, if they're struggling now with their main blokes back, what are they going to look like without Toto, Edwards, Cleary, Yo, Martin?
Because they could lose another 5 in a row. Those 5 are still playing for the Blues.
Yeah, like 100%. So, like, so who comes in for them? Like, so they'll have a halves pairing of, like, Cole, Schneider. Like, then you've got...
Probably Laurie will play fullback.
Yeah, Laurie will play fullback. Like, mate, that is... Like, that's where, you know, I hate to say it, but, like, if they keep playing like this, big scores could get put on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if they don't, that kind of does put the writing on the wall a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Regardless of where they're at, going through that period is going to put them here.
Yeah, like that. Even to make the top 8, they've got to win, like... They can only drop like maybe 6 games, I think, for the rest of the season.
And then you got to hope all those players
I think I just looked it up. Based off last year, I think it's 7. They've got to win 11 from the next 18.
11 from the next 18.
Man. And then you got to hope that all those players can back up from the game and are healthy after it.
Yep.
Like,
it's a tough one. So, like, you're looking at least 2 games where they're not going to have them, like all their players. And so, as I said, like, it'd be easy for me to sit if I then just go, sit on the fence or whatever. But, like, honestly, if I had my gun to head, I just don't know whether they can do it this year. Win the comp. I just reckon it's just been too much has gone wrong for them, unfortunately. Too much has gone wrong. So, as I said, but the brilliant thing for the Penrith Panthers is they have the opportunity to write one of the great chapters all time in rugby league. 4 in a row, decimated. Everyone's, you're done. You lost 5 in a row. Everyone's talking shit now. All the haters came out of the woodwork. Everyone that wanted to for the past 4 or 5 years that couldn't, they're talking shit now. And then all of a sudden you go on this crazy run. That would be incredible. I would love that.
It'd be their greatest win, but I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Even looking past that, if they go through what we think they're going to go through this year, to come back next year as discussed,
red hot,
and that in alone is a fucking cracker story.
Absolutely. Alrighty, guys, don't forget, use code ZAC for $7 off Italians this week. Minimum spend is $20. Damn, it sucks that he's injured, but I think that he'll get back for Origin. I think he'll be back. So it's like 8 weeks to Origin or something like that?
Yeah, 7 weeks to Origin, and I think it's a 4 to 6 week
4 to 6 weeks. So he'll be right. Let's say he comes back 4 weeks, plays 3 games, he'll be fine. I'll put him back in the Origin side.
I wouldn't even think twice. After last year and what he's already done this year, he put him straight on the wing. Because Laurie Daly said on 360 the other day that he's got him as a winger in Origin, and he's there for me.
He's too much of an attacking weapon in the air as well. Like, you can give you 200 metres plus in the air, constant threat. And when points are so hard to come by, attacking, like kicking, scoring tries off kicks is like such a weapon.
And what he did last year in Origin was unbelievable.
So good. So yeah, massive congratulations to the Dolphins. What a bloody good performance. And I really hope they can they look happy now. They look confident. Hopefully this is
momentum.
Exactly what they need to just go on with it. Now Joey Manu was reportedly looking at requesting a release from his contract from French rugby, which could pave the way for an return. He's currently playing for Japan's Toyota Verbitz, I think it is, having already signed with the French club Racing 92. What a sick name for a club, Racing 92. Manu is due to report for preseason training in July, with the season set to begin in August. However, he's reportedly considering a return to Sydney or New Zealand for family reasons, according to Chamis.
The Roosters.
Nah, get him to the Warriors.
I just feel like this it's happening for that reason. I feel like Roosters are the linchpin.
You reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
You reckon he'll be back in a Roosters jersey mid-year?
If you think about where the Roosters are at now, what's ahead of them, the ability that they have financially, I think they're setting up for something. And whether it's the chat around DCE or all of it, I think you'll see Manu back in a Roosters jersey.
I've got a cracker question for you. Do you reckon the Roosters would rather get DCE in at 7 or get Joey Manu in at 6?
DC at 7 for sure.
100%.
Like 1,000,000%. I actually reckon he'll go to the Wars.
Really?
Yep. Well, reportedly, Chance is potentially looking at Super League, or that's a report. I don't know for sure. And I just think that they'd have money in the cap.
Be a big contract.
He's from New Zealand. He'll get $1 million a year. Yeah. He'll be the fullback. I know Tua Picky has to, take a back seat again, but at the end of the day, it is Joey Manu. It is Joey Manu. And at the very worst, you can chuck him in at centre and he's going to be a world top tier centre. He's still 28.
Yeah,
it's crazy how young he is.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. I'm putting him at fullback. Tua Picky's still a gun winger.
Yep, and if I'm putting it fullback, my one job is just ball playing all off season, just working on his ball playing, working on his 3-on-2, and he will tear teams apart.
Yeah, the whole coming home for family reasons kind of leaves the door open for both Australia and New Zealand.
Yep.
Doesn't really answer any questions for us. So
I did find it interesting though that they did leave that in the thing of return to Sydney or New Zealand. It's like, well, when you think about why would they say both? Why would they say both instead of just return to Sydney where, I know he's from New Zealand, but he's been living in Australia for forever.
I wonder if he's made a call or if he's just leaving all the options on the table.
It is very intriguing that the Warriors, there was this massive report a week ago that there's going to be a huge signing. And that was like a week ago. So, and then all of a sudden, he potentially could get a release. I just reckon it all lines up.
Yeah, well, that does line up. That feels premeditated.
Yeah, unless the Roosters have done that intentionally because the problem for the Roosters is if he does come back to the Roosters, there's going to be investigations as to how that happened. Oh, hang on a sec. So one of your superstars went away, played rugby for a little bit, got paid $1 million for it, comes back halfway through the year. How's that fair on the salary cap that this guy, you basically said, look, go away for half a year, come back. I'm not saying that they said that, but it could be implied.
That's how it always felt to me.
Yeah, well, I thought he was always going to come back to the Roosters because, it just was weird that he was leaving, to be honest. But I can also understand from the Roosters, they can't afford to pay him $1 million. Go make your money early in the year. It's going to be a rebuild. They already knew it was going to be a rebuild 100%. Year this year. So, did they sit there and go, mate, go get your cash. It's a rebuild year anyway. We can't win the comp. Come back halfway through and then boom, you're back in. The only thing is that there was always these whispers that he wanted to play fullback and get his hands on the ball more. And, Teddy's going around again next year, you'd have to assume. So that's the weird thing.
Yeah, I did kind of think those were the two things that would line up.
Yeah.
This throws a spanner, but...
I want to see him at the Wars.
Yeah, same.
Sign a 3-year deal with the Wars, $1 million a year, get around it. Don't forget, guys, good day. Tom and Eddie have released Daylights. You can also use code DMP for 10% off. And as usual, use code DMP for 10% off. Good day, 20% off paired with subscription. Go to begoodhealth.com.au. Grab some grumpy coffee, guys. Some beautiful grumpy coffee. Got some real fun things releasing soon, content-wise, for Grumpy Coffee. So give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. But the coffee is beautiful. If you're on the fence, I promise you will not be disappointed with Grumpy Coffee. It's a beautiful, got blends. Have this we got blends from like all over, but we get some beans from PNG that are just ooh. So we're going to do some solo Origin stuff soon, but trust me, guys, especially the everyday. If you're on the fence about which blend to get the everyday. It's the best. You like the very grumpy, don't you?
Very grumpy.
Yeah,
You're a very grumpy man.
So if you like your, I don't know how you would interpret this.
Darker.
Yeah, if you like your coffee, I think the very grumpy's the go.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the everyday.
Yeah.
So good. So friggin' nice. So grab it, grumpycoffee.com.au. That gets to you within 24 to 48 hours, guys. We have it absolutely humming at the moment. Good customer service. You will not be disappointed, guys. The best coffee in all the land. All right, AJ Brimson is reportedly set to switch international allegiance to England. He has previously played for Australia in the World Nines with Ponga and has played Origin for Queensland. This story is brought to you by Code Sports. Guys, go to codesports.com.au/bloke. Type in bloke in the code and you'll get a whole year for $49. It's a joke. Such a joke. And as I always say, guys, like, if you are looking to use a code, use this code. Because if we go really well and show them how many numbers the bloke community can get around, this is how we get long-term partners. It really, really does help the show if you get around it. Show our partners that it's good to be a partner of Bloke shows, and then we can have longer-term partnerships. And the thing is like, if we have longer-term big partnerships, it means less small ads every now and then. We'd rather have 4 or 5 big partnerships than 20 different ads kind of thing. So get around it. codesports.com.au/bloke. Use code bloke for a massive discount of $49 for the whole year. And if you love sport, all the best stories at Code Sport. All right, AJ Brimson. I just think it's more evidence that like this friggin' eligibility stuff needs to get sorted sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think the recent news and all the drama is definitely going to trigger something.
Yeah, because it's just like, how is it fair that New Zealand sit there and go, bro, so if I've got a young player called Isaiah Katoa and he's got Tonga heritage and also Kiwi heritage, but if he chooses Kiwi heritage, he's not eligible for Origin, of course he's going to choose to play for Tonga. And maybe he would have anyway. I'm not sure. I don't know. But what I'm saying is like, from a Kiwis perspective, you're sitting there going, that's bullshit. Like, Tonga beat us. So how is
It's
it
an
that...
objective disadvantage.
Yeah, like it's literally making... It's basically saying, out of all of the nations, Kiwis have the least pull power in negotiations. It's a true disadvantage. Even England don't have this disadvantage because most players don't live in Australia till they're 13 but be eligible for England. It's so unfair to New Zealand that these other tiers can just willy-nilly get these players and they can still play Origin. It needs to be sorted.
This discussion we've been having, there's a negative for everyone. We spoke about the Origin and then it's like, well, is the Australian team going to suffer for bringing all these players in? And then at the player level, it's like, well, financially they're going to lose out. They can't represent their heritage. But that one with New Zealand, when you put it like that, they're at a massive disadvantage.
Massive disadvantage.
They don't stand a chance.
It needs to get sorted. I think you're never going to please everyone. But I think, the more I've sat down and thought about it from the game's perspective and not my own personal opinions.
Needs to be reviewed.
I just think that we're going to get to a point where you're going to have to make it so that state and international is different. Even though I disagree with that premise, the difference is we don't live in a fairyland where everything is fair and perfect. We live in a situation where rugby league is a business at the end of the day. And if we were to go, okay, Samoa and Tonga are a tier 1 nation, we may get to the point where the Polynesian boys go, sweet, we're not playing Origin. And all of a sudden, we don't have the best players playing Origin. And they're all sitting out to play Samoa and Tonga at the end of the year. And imagine seeing a bunch of Rezzies coming out for Queensland versus New South Wales. Like, it's not
We saw it in 2020 and the Blues still lost.
And look, that was great for 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want that every single year, though. You don't want it every single year. And I know some people go, oh, come on, mate. Like, if you were to pick the Queensland and New South Wales side now without any of the Polynesian players that chose to play Samoa and Tonga, they'd still be good. Yeah, now it'd still be good. But in 20 years' time, if it keeps increasing, like, look how many more Polynesian boys are in the Origin sides compared to the early 2000s. That's only 20 years ago. Imagine in another 20 years how much that's going to change. And so I just think you would almost hurt the game if you put up a border between allowing the guys with other heritages not to play in Origin.
Yeah. And that also comes down to eligibility. Like this generation, the residency and whether they're all now living and making a life in Australia. You know, that probably wasn't as relevant or prevalent at least 20, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a factor.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, Shane Richardson, West Tigers Chief Executive Shane Richardson, has blunt message for Campbelltown Stadium saying, if you don't fix it, they won't play there. Among requirements are a $50 million short-term and $100 million long-term investment in the stadium and an increase to 24,000 seats, plus a further 1,500 corporate guests. We've had lengthy discussions with the NRL and Campbelltown because unless it improves, it is a very simple thing. And I don't do Trumpian threats. We won't play there. It's as simple as that because at the moment, it's not a standard required to be an NRL ground. More importantly, we can't grow our membership. We can't grow our fan base. We can't grow without stadium being upgraded. Richo, into him.
I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, same.
Campbelltown is an area where there is so many people that follow rugby league, and it seems like they've kind of been left in the dark a little bit. Like, you know, we've had a stadium built in Penrith currently. We've had Combank built. We've had Allianz Stadium built. All worthy. Like, Leichhardt's getting upgrade now, but Southwest Sydney, there's so many people there that sport rugby league. Yeah. Campbelltown Stadium is very average, and he's not asking for a new stadium out there. He's asking for some upgrades. And also, how, like, when Tigers play there out in Campbelltown, like, how can you get corporates to come out and spend their money and do all that stuff when the facilities are just bang average? So I see where he's coming from.
It is a bit weird how it's a bit unfair how certain clubs have access to huge stadiums, which in turn lets them generate more revenue, and certain clubs are stuck at the smaller ones. Because his point of, like, how can we grow as a club when our stadium is terrible compared to other people that get to play in, like, state-of-the-art stadiums? It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
And I think the comparison that Matty mentioned with all of the advancements in some of those stadiums, at some point you're sitting there going, like, we can't continue to work with this.
Yeah.
You know, like, Campbelltown definitely deserves an upgrade considering, you know, the Allianz and the Combank and stuff like that.
The only thing is I want them to just keep them small. I'd rather keep
100%.
them small. I want that feeling of every week it's nearly sold out.
So he's going to make it a 24,000 stadium. So it's still going to be a small stadium.
Yeah, that's got to be the theme for the NRL grounds.
Yeah, just
Definitely
keep them
better.
suburban and small, but, like, because it looks so much better when it's packed. So like there's nothing worse than a core stadium game and it's just looking dog shit.
And I think we've come to grips now. We're a TV sport.
Yeah,
we're a TV
100%.
sport, and Belmore Oval with 12,000 looks way better than a core stadium with 20,000.
Yeah, which is crazy to think. But you're right. Like, I'd way watch like on TV watching a Belmore game. It's the best. It looks sick. Reminds me a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I like the North Queensland's new stadium, but I used to love watching footy games at Dairy Farmers Stadium. It just looked sick. Had a unique atmosphere.
Best stadium name of all time as well.
Sick.
Yeah,
Dairy
but even the new
Farmers.
upgrade stadiums with the capacity of, like, the 30 to 37,000, the way they're set up, watching a game there, where regardless of where you're at, just over the field, it's a much better experience.
It's bloody awesome. Yeah, I just think the people out there, you know, that stadium got built in the 50s, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, they deserve something better out there.
Boys, it's time for an algo check. And also just a reminder that you can watch every game of every round, this NRL Premiership season live with no ad breaks during play on K Sports. You're not going to want to miss the Masters, which kicked off last night. Minwoo Lee finished the day one under par. The only place you can watch all the action is our Fox Sports, available on KO. Boys, algo check. What's it looking like, Sandor?
All right, I'll go check for me. I know we spoke about this the other day. End of the month, I'm going to go down and get the honour of checking out this Run It Straight business. But I went down the rabbit hole the last couple of weeks, and some of the footage and the clips, in particular, you know, they had their trials down in Melbourne, and then watching the local lads down at Mount Druitt. It's fucking cool.
It's crazy. It's so hectic. I've seen some of those clips out west. Bro, you know what's weird is, like, when you play footy, have played it professionally, you're like, why the hell would you choose to run it straight at someone? You know what I mean? But, like, they just love it. They just love it.
And it's all the action. It's, you know, it's instant. It reminds me, it's kind of like footy's version of the slap for UFC. You know what I mean?
There's a little bit more technique because they've actually got to tackle correctly, get their body in the right spot.
And there is a lot of technique lacking at this stage, but it's still entertaining.
Mate, it's crazy. It's so good. I wonder, I mean, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, because it's all super quick, built for social media, 15 to 20 second little snippets that people are always going to look at. Always, if you could, like, package it all up and, you know, make it look, add other things to it, like maybe other you got the run it straight stuff, but maybe add some ball playing stuff in it too, like a competition for who's the best kicker. Like let's say you had a full run it straight day. Don't just have the run it straight. Have like a kicking comp where who can land it in a certain square at a
little all-star weekend.
Yeah, like it's like almost like an all-star weekend with all the skill sets of rugby league. So you got kicking, like who can hit the crossbar the most. Corner tries. You also got passing. Like you could actually make it a really fun day because like the run it straight's great, but there's only so many people that are going to willing to go in the run it straight. People that are over 6'3" and massive.
Yeah, I mean at some point there's gonna have to be some sort of weight division
for sure
because it's heavily skewed to a big
boy. Yeah. Then you could have other little games of like 10-meter cone drill where it's like you've got 10 meters one-on-one. You've and they maybe some like Oz tag things. Like I reckon you could make a really cool little, really good for viral clips where you've got the big shots, you've got the good footwork, the steps, because everyone loves footwork.
Yeah, I mean that'd be another one.
That's what I'm saying. Little 10-meter drill where a ball is past you. And you just go one-on-one with somebody and you might have Oz tackle, or you just make a tackle.
Yeah,
Fuck it,
the
make
drills
a tackle.
we've done in training that went on one-on-one, like that'd be cracker.
That'd be crazy. The highlights you would get from mad footwork.
So good. And that, you know what that does? It opens up to a completely different
That's what I'm saying.
Type of player.
A lot of people
or athlete.
don't want to just run it straight.
No.
A lot of people won't. It's a small minority of people that do.
Yeah.
But a lot of touch footy players and that would be like, hell yeah, I'll get into the. So if you set it all up on one, because you just need one big footy field, and you could have everything going, at once pretty much. The kick, I actually reckon play even kicking golf. You could have like a kicking golf game. I actually I'd find the kicking game exciting, hitting the crossbar and stuff.
Yeah, well, the American sports do that well. They exhaust all the skills on those all-star weekends.
Yeah, you just basically it's this all-star weekend of or even like fitness stuff as well. You could do like some kind of fitness test. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. Really, really cool stuff happening out west. All right, what's your algo looking like, Matty?
I think you'll laugh at me, but since Netflix got back WWE, I've been watching really old nostalgic footage lately. So to the point now where I'll call up Courtney's little brother who lives in Victoria and we'll put it on, we'll put a Royal Rumble on at the same time and then we'll guess who's coming in next. But now it's just dominant. So now Netflix and WWE have done it so well that they make all these countdown reels now. And I don't know what it is about lists and countdown reels. They're just I can't stop watching them. So before you boys walked in, I was watching on my phone, Triple H best comebacks and then Kurt Angle best crowd pops and all that. So yeah, WWE is
Can't
my
go wrong
algorithm.
with the old wrestling.
It's so
clips.
good.
Best.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, they Netflix have done well of getting that on board.
so
haven't they?
smart.
To such a huge audience, far out. Then more Netflix lean into stuff like that. Everyone would just be watching Netflix.
When they did that Tyson, what's his name? Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, yeah.
Yeah, that was a dog shit fight, but the whole promo behind that, Netflix getting it and having so many eyeballs on it because it's basically free. I know you're paying for your Netflix subscription was genius.
Yeah.
And they've done the same thing with WWE. It's so good.
Mate, you can't beat that old wrestling Civic Video, Blockbuster. I used to just be in there flat stick every weekend. The old wrestling was different too.
Oh, mate, it's not the same. I've tried to watch new wrestling. It's not good.
Nah.
Nor I don't think it's good.
It's too much storyline, not enough action.
All right, boys, time for some tips.
Hang on, what's your algorithm?
My algorithm, it's a bit of reading algorithm. So I was just reading there's a fiction book called Wheel of Time, and there's a character that they revealed, ages ago they revealed it, but I've only just found out about it, that didn't actually die, and then there's arguments on if this has been retconned by the authors or not, the writers. And so that's what my algorithm is, Wheel of Time at the moment, Wheel of Time. Because they made a show on Amazon based on the books. It's so bad, bro. It's so bad. And the people that are making the show, they're full on, let's just say, how do you say this? Let's just say they are very forward-minded thinking people.
Gotcha.
And so they've injected their modern day forward thinking into a timeless classic that was written quite a long time ago and just totally ruined it. It's dog shit. Ironic, yeah. So
you're saying they believe in the underground currents of the pyramids? That's what you're saying.
No, that would be good. I'll take that. They just
Can we also zoom in on the big fella's goatee this week as well? I feel like
Shibasaki.
wow,
Very strong, isn't it?
very strong.
It's out of respect for Shibasaki. I said if he scored last week, I'd grow the goatee, and I've done it. I'm a man of my word, mate.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Man of my word. So we'll see how long it lasts.
Well, he's every chance of scoring tonight against the Chooks.
Yeah.
Is it a ongoing commitment if the try scoring continues?
I'll stick to it. The power of the goatie, baby.
Maybe you can get
supporting the
work
boys.
in a little point here.
I don't know if we'll do that. I don't know if I've got enough in me to do that.
I tell you what, I forgot. It popped up on my YouTube the other day. You did an interview with Adam Reynolds years ago, and he had just a full mustache.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't remember why. Do you remember why you had that one?
Yeah, it was probably some bet last time as well.
Just fashion, eh?
Yeah, just fashion, exactly. But yeah, this one, mate, I'm supporting the Bronx boys, mate. I'm getting around them. Get to show some love to your team sometimes. You got no loyalty, mate. Where's your love? Where's your love? This guy, he's bagging his team all the time.
I've got a
he nearly got
tattoo.
removed the other day. He nearly got removed.
At the 60th minute mark of the Roosters South game, I was texting tattoo removals, but I was good at full time.
So, yeah, that's the power of the goatee, mate. Shibasaki, shout out. Keep playing well, mate. That's where all our power lies, is in the goatee. All right, boys, quick tips. Thanks to Sportsbet. Give us a follow on the feed. Also, as I said, guys, don't forget the 22nd, 6 p.m., get the jerseys, get around them. If you've been looking at ways to support the show, support the platform, this is a really, really good way to support us, guys. It gives us a real opportunity to create more content. And when I say we've got plans to expand, trust me, we've got plans to expand, but we just need community to get around us for it. Alrighty, Dragons v Titans.
Going Dragons because there's no Tino.
Big one. Going Dragons.
Head to head, I'll go Dragons. But I do think there might be a bit of value in the Titans. Broncos, Roosters.
Got to go Broncos.
Definitely Broncos.
Bronx, Sharks, Manly.
That's a hard one.
I reckon it's tough.
I said I wouldn't back them.
So don't.
I'm going to go Manly.
I'll go Cronulla.
Okay, Rabbitohs, Cowboys.
South.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rabbit. But this is a tough one, to be honest. Who are
Eels.
you on that one?
I'll just go Cowboys. I don't know. I seriously don't know, though. Eels, Raiders.
Raiders.
You know what? At the start of the week, I was going to go Eels, but then Lomax was out. So now I'm Raiders.
I'm in this other tipping comp, bro, where you get one team a week. You got to pick one team a week.
Yep.
You can't pick that team for 7 weeks. And if your team's wrong, you get knocked out. It's mad.
I've played that. I've never gotten past week 3 or 4. It's so much harder than you think.
This is the second round. I got knocked
get
out when
what,
Penrith got
one
their
team a
first
week?
loss.
So you can choose one team.
Yeah, so
each
we're
week.
in round 2 of it now.
Yeah.
It already got a winner.
Wow.
Out of like
There you go.
60, 70 people. So Raiders is my tip for this week for that.
As in that to win.
Yeah, but you got to be strategic because you got to look a couple weeks ahead and be
Yeah,
like, well,
okay.
who am I going to? Obviously, otherwise I'd go bloody Melbourne over
Every
Warriors.
week. Yeah, okay. Melbourne versus Warriors. We'll go Melbourne. Knights v Tigers.
Another tough. I reckon Tigers, yeah.
Bit of value on the Tigers.
Yeah.
Bit of value. Alrighty, that's all us done and dusted. Grab some Grumpy Coffee from grumpycoffee.com.au. And as usual, we'll go fuck ourselves.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.